Today, Tesla and Polestar could crack tough South Korean auto market. Foreign EV makers start at South Korean EXPO with local champion Hyundai a no-show. So what we have here is an article from Bloomberg. We're going to be having a look at it because honestly, it has some good information when it comes to Polestar. Obviously, we know Polestar is ramping up to their IPO and their SPAC merger. We know Tesla is the big EV king at the moment, and they're not ready to give up that crown anytime soon. But Polestar seems to be one of the realest competitors because Lucid is failing to compete properly with Tesla, and Rivian is failing to compete with Tesla as well. The realest competitor is honestly Polestar with the biggest dream. So the real question is, can Tesla and Polestar crack in this Korean market? Can they go into the market and be successful? And to be honest, Polestar has already started to enter into the Korean market. Here's where it gets interesting. Polestar reports strong start in South Korea with 4,000 reservation. And this was old news. This is from January the 27th. So Polestar is already entering into the Korean market. They're already ramping up with orders. They're already ramping up with deliveries. And they have one space in Korea as well, I believe. Polestar entered South Korean market, unveiling the Polestar 2 model on the 18th of January 2022 at the Seoul Wave Art Center. Simultaneously, an online reservation system was launched. Now, according to the company, the car noted an unprecedented and overwhelming response with 2,000 reservations placed within just 2 hours. Within 1 week, the number of reservations further increased to a total of 4,000. That's an amazing result for Polestar 2, especially since each reservation requires about $840 deposit. Another thing is that there are strong local competitors, including the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Kia EV6, and as well as Tesla Model S, Tesla Model 3, the Tesla X, the Tesla Y. They're all there, considering that Polestar sold 29,000 vehicles in 2021, and in 2020 they only sold 10,000. So 4,000 units in South Korea will be an important contribution for the current year, or the current quarter. They're going to sell more cars in Korea throughout the year anyway. Now for this year, Polestar is aiming to sell 65,000 vehicles in 2022 and 290,000 by 2025. Next year, Polestar will be selling at least 100,000 vehicles next year. That's exciting. So those are the targets for the gradual expanded lineup, including the upcoming Polestar 3, the upcoming Polestar 4, and Polestar 5. So this is extremely exciting. So let's get into the Bloomberg article. The 9th International Electric Vehicle Expo on the resort island of Jeju. Now Polestar, on the other hand, which opens their first showroom in Seoul in December, was also a darling for visitors. Its open door display was large as Tesla, showcasing a white Polestar 2 that was the top selling EV model in April, with about 460 units shipped according to the Sweden-based company. At the vanguard of South Korean ambition to green was held earlier this month and delivered several interesting takeaways. Now, the expo was the first major public event in Jeju since the pandemic, but was still smaller than expected, with just 65 companies participating. Some, like Hyundai, were suspiciously by their absence. Odd given that the Hyundai and subsidiary Kia account for just over 2 of every 3 cars sold in Korea. Isn't that odd? So still the International Convention Center in Seoul, Wipu. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that terribly, so I do apologize. But this was bustling with business executives, young couples and families, and even a group of middle-aged tourists and hiking gears who look like they might stop by before climbing nearby Halasan Mountain. So about 30,000 people flocked to the 4-day event, showing the growing demand for electric cars in Korea, one of the 2 countries in the world where more than 100,000 new EVs were registered in 2021. The other was Norway. So there were also an interest in looking beyond local companies like Hyundai and Kia, of course. The price is probably a big factor. Both retail for at least 4,000. That's the Hyundai Ioniq and the Kia Niro. So even after taking into account government subsidiaries, what surprises Bloomberg is that there were more elderly people and young women than expected at this event. An older couple test drive an 8,000 2-seater EV from Korean startup Mave, while 2 20-something women were trying to master a bright orange 3-wheeler made by Carver. So the star of the show, of course, was Tesla, which making its first appearance at the EXPO. Crowds flocked to check out the Model Y and Model 3 on display. With 6 outlets in Korea, Tesla became the 4th largest foreign automaker in famously Parachial market in 2021, with sales of 17,826 cars, overtaking Volkswagen and Volvo. The first floor was dominated by electric motorbikes. Two-wheelers occupy a gray area in South Korea. While it's not uncommon to see electric scooters zipping down bicycle lanes, electric motorbikes are currently prohibited from using EV charging station, an inconvenience that dams their appeal. That's probably why Samsung SDI display a battery swapping station next to motorbike fitted with its cell. So Samsung SDI, they have a battery swapping station that was next to the motorbike fitted with its cell. That's incredible that Samsung is in this business. It's truly remarkable because I love the Samsung company and they seem to do everything, which is why I really appreciate them. Now the most intriguing item on display was Key SV's 120,000 electric boat. Part caravan, it became completed with kitchen, shower, room, bed, TV and can be parked on land. Wow, that's quite interesting. And part boat with a range of 60 kilometers from its two 30 kilowatts per hour batteries. It attracts a lot of curious onlookers. So Bloomberg's takeaway from the expo, Korea's EV market will continue to grow and there are opportunities for foreign automakers like Tesla and Polestar to make inroads into the nation's notorious parochial car market. So Tesla sues engineers over Dojo's supercomputer technology theft. Toyota plans to invest $624 million to make EV parts in India. That's really significant. BYD probes for pollution amid reports of nosebleeds in children. So let's try to understand what this article is saying. First of all, Tesla, Polestar grab spotlights at Korean EV Expo. Something to understand is that South Korea is home to 3 of the world's biggest EV battery makers, and given the battle for supplies of new materials like lithium, cobalt and nickel, it makes complete sense to get into battery recycling. Sunel High Tech, which is in early days attracted silver from secondhand TV, is now planning an IPO as it targets sale of around $1 billion and 10% of global market shares by 2030. So according to colleagues at Bloomberg NEF, approximately 2 million metric ton of lithium-ion battery scraps will be available for recycling every year. By then, the proceeds from Sunel's planned IPO will be used to build new recycling plants in Gunsan in Korea, helping the company grab a bigger slice of the market. So that in itself is quite significant because I'm learning this for the first time, that Korea is home to 3 of the biggest world EV battery makers. I didn't know that previously. Obviously lithium is mined in various different countries, especially in Chile and in Australia. It's also mined in places like America, Nevada, I believe. Apparently lithium can be mined almost anywhere. So that, ladies and gents, is quite interesting. So I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, subscribe to see more, and of course I will see you in my next video.